Okay, so in my last video, I talked about the things I hate the most about The Witcher 3, so I feel it's only fair for me to talk about the things I love. The good things in this game definitely outweigh the bad. The first thing I want to talk about is the ambiance and the overall vibe of the game. The vibe of this game is simply immaculate. The music is perfect, the world is calm yet harsh, and all the towns and villages feel alive. It's wild to me how these older games like this and Skyrim are able to do such a good job at making the world feel like it's living and breathing with so much personality. It makes just wandering around aimlessly feel new and exciting for hours on end, and it's just one of those games where I can just sit back with a drink and a snack and get lost in the world. Like, the devs even made a whole card game within the game to make it feel that much more immersive. Now, I'm no Gwent master. In fact, I don't think I've won a single game of Gwent, but I still recognize the effort it took to add to the game, and I find it really immersive that the vendors across the world can sell you new cards and whatnot to add to your deck. It's kind of fun, you can become like a card collector within the game. Giving these cards to vendors really makes it feel like part of the culture that they have built. But yeah, the music just matches each town, city vibe perfectly, and the ambient music while adventuring hits like crack.
Now, witches, they can't catch the pox, isn't that right?
I won't lie, I occasionally will listen to this soundtrack while doing spreadsheets at work, so that's how you know you're locked in. The next thing I love about this game is Geralt's voice, you feel me?
He's gay!
Before we go any further, you even know what Max Bersodi's house is?
I know it's in the vault.
Didn't answer my question.
I'm only partially kidding though. As a newcomer to the series with no prior Witcher knowledge, at first Geralt came off to me as bland and unenthusiastic, but only within a few hours of playing it was obvious why his demeanor is this way. Like, ain't nothing sweet in the life of a Witcher, and you learn that in some pretty interesting ways throughout the story. There's a storyline where you learn about the trials to become a Witcher, and how most people die during the final phase, which is kind of wild. And then once you are a Witcher, you're kind of just bound to the duty of doing these pretty gnarly things. Like, your whole view on the world becomes a bit more dark and depressing. There's a quote from the first game where Shani tells Geralt, "I thought Witchers carried two swords, a steel one for humans and a silver one for monsters." And Geralt replies, "Both are for monsters." This kind of just shows how the humans of the world can be just as diabolical as the demons, ghouls, and spirits of the world, so I just thought that was pretty interesting. Geralt's story and character building was so interesting to me that after beating the game, I went out and read the first book. Well, listened to the first book because I cannot read. Next is a very niche thing that I wanted to talk about that I love. This game runs great on Steam Deck. I just got a deck a few days ago and this game runs at 60 frames per second on it natively with no issues, and it's kind of wild to me to be able to play this kind of game on a handheld. And because this runs so well on the Steam Deck, you know it runs well on older systems as well, so that's another great thing, is that you don't need like a top-of-the-end PC or anything like that to run this game well. The final thing I wanted to speak on are the characters. To me, this is the most intriguing part of the game. It's not the gameplay, but it's the conversations you have with the supporting characters. Each person you link up with is unique and interesting. At first you meet the Baron. Dude kind of seems like a dickhead at first, but slowly you start to see why he is that way. By the end of his questline, you can't really help but feel bad for the guy. Then there's Triss, my goat, a sorceress who is just doing her best to lay low. Sorceresses are heavily discriminated against by the general population, and it's pretty interesting to see how someone so kind-hearted like Triss navigates her situation. Yennefer, absolute piece of shit to Geralt, but he cannot get her off his mind, and honestly, I fully understand. Orson Jr., absolute diabolical bastard. That storyline is incredibly satisfying if you choose the option that I chose. And of course Ciri, crazy emotional moments there, and I'm pumped to see where her story goes in The Witcher 4. I could go on and on about the characters, but I'll just call it there. Overall, The Witcher 3 does have some things that really do annoy me, but all in all, the game is phenomenal. If you've never played it, I strongly suggest that you check it out. If you've made it this far in the video, I assume you enjoy video game talk, so consider subscribing, and please drop a like if you enjoyed the video because it helps out creators like me who are new to making videos. And of course, let me know down below what your favorite things are in The Witcher 3. And as always, have a good one. Not gonna lie, I kinda got that shit on. That guy's like, damn, he got that shit on.